Ride along each week as we share proven strategies to strengthen your business, energize your team, and create the business success you've been dreaming about. And now, here's your host, Rich Allen.
What are your customer engagement standards? Welcome to the Ultimate Business Tune-Up Podcast, where our one and only goal is to help you tune up your business so you can have the long-lasting success and fulfillment that comes from owning a solid, profitable, and sustainable business. Each week we dive into a single topic related to improving your business, improving your team engagement, or improving your relationship with your customers. This week, our topic is one that I would venture to guess you've never really given any serious thought to: your customer engagement standards. I'm even willing to go out on a limb and suggest you probably have never been asked the question, what are your customer engagement standards? Am I right? I think I probably am. And how do I know? Because I've asked this question many times to business owners, and every time I get the same deer in the headlights look in response. But it's not a surprise, nor should it be. It's not something that's talked about often. But if you simply Googled customer engagement standards, you'd find several articles that talk about the importance of customer engagement to your business success. And more importantly, you'd find articles that talk about setting new standards for customer engagement, particularly following this recent pandemic and business shutdown period. I'm sure you've noticed that some businesses haven't done much to recover or revisit their customer engagement standards since the economy was shut down well over a year ago. Some still require masking. Some still rely on scheduled appointments rather than welcoming walk-ins. Some have never replaced the people who left as a result of the pandemic, and their customer service is suffering. Let me give you one example that makes my point. I recently had to visit a bank to open a new business account with a new business partner. In the past, this would have been a no big deal bank visit. We could have walked right into the local branch, waited for the next available business banker, and within 30 minutes, our new accounts would have been opened and we would have been on our way, happy campers. But that's not what we experienced recently. The sign on the bank door stated clearly that appointments were mandatory. You couldn't even meet with a business banker without an appointment. And if you wanted that appointment to be in person, the day and time options were very limited, and you had to schedule at least a week or two in advance. So we did. Then the day and time of our appointment arrived. We showed up and sat in the small waiting area for over 30 minutes while the lone business banker worked with another appointment. As we waited, we looked around at the 5 offices where business bankers would have been officing just a couple of years ago. But they were empty, and later we were told that they were either gone or were working from home. So much for being there to serve your busy business clients. So rather than a quick, pleasant 30-minute experience, we were treated to a 2-hour, slow, painful, and frustrating experience just to get a couple of business accounts set up. Clearly, this particular bank was not thinking about their customer engagement standards. Now, I'll not share which bank we were dealing with, but I am puzzled that a majority of the banking industry seems to be suffering from a hangover since the pandemic in the area of customer engagement. But I'll quickly share that not all banks fit this scenario. I'm good friends with the president at a local bank, and they've gone out of their way to enhance their customer engagement over the past couple of years. And not surprisingly, their business has multiplied at a very fast rate. But that's not the norm. I share this sad story with you to get your attention about the importance of this particular topic. We've just come through a very challenging time for most businesses and most customers. If there was ever a time to focus our attention on making our customers know, without question, that they are our most important aspect of our business success, now is the time. But for some businesses, especially those that have been slow to return to business as usual, this has been a significant challenge. How do you respond quickly to customer needs when half your team is working remotely? How do you engage with your customers when you're separated by plexiglass barriers? How do you let your customers know you truly care for them when most of your communications is online? These are big questions that we've got to tackle in our business with regard to our customer engagement standards. But rather than focus on the negative, I want to focus on a fresh, new way of thinking about your customer engagement standards. I want us to consider the what's possible and why not be different of how we treat our customers. And to do this well, I've got to introduce to you perhaps the absolute master of the customer engagement experience, and that is the owner of the Savannah Bananas, Jesse Cole. I met Jesse in a mastermind group I joined several years ago. He had been in the group for a while and was a larger-than-life kind of guy, young, energetic, enthusiastic, and bold. He had worked in the sports industry and had recently purchased the historic Grayson Stadium in Savannah, Georgia, where their minor league team folded because of a lack of interest in the team and baseball in general in the area. So while the team left, Jesse decided to stay and transform this iconic baseball stadium into a winning baseball business. As is often the case, when someone tries to change the game and do things differently, many in the community were sure he would fail. But Jesse and his wife Emily were determined. They were confident that if they approached baseball with a fans-first mindset, they could assemble a team, break a few rules, create a customer experience like nothing ever imagined in the sport of baseball, and build a business that would be the envy of everyone in the industry. And they proceeded to do just that. If you're not familiar with the Savannah Bananas, you need to be. They're a one-of-a-kind baseball team that has turned the sport of baseball upside down. They are 100% focused on creating an unforgettable fan experience. And everything they do, I mean everything, is focused on their fans. If their fans don't like something, they get rid of it. If something doesn't excite their fans, they change it. If something's an irritation to their fans, they fix it. They start every day thinking about their fans, and they end every game discussing what needs to be changed to make their fans' experience even better. Imagine waking up every day thinking about your customers and closing every day reviewing how the day went from your customer's perspective. And if things didn't go perfectly for them, you changed your processes. Most would think that's impossible, but Jesse and Emily have proved that it can be done. But don't take my word for it. Jesse recently wrote a book titled Fans First that tells his story and walks you through what he does on a daily and weekly basis to make the Savannah Bananas the most admired sports team on the planet. Here are just a few concepts that Jesse has baked into his business that you should consider when thinking about your customer engagement standards. Number 1, get fanatical about your fans. Create a culture that makes your customer experience the number 1 priority of your business. Number 2, remember that every game is someone's first experience, meaning that there's always a customer who's having their first experience doing business with you. What's their experience like? Number 3, eliminate any friction. If something irritates your customers, fix it or eliminate it. Number 4, experiment constantly. Don't get stuck doing things the same old way. Try new ideas, explore new approaches, test and measure, and be willing to change quickly. Number 5, engage deeply. Don't be distant with your customers. The more intimate you know them, the more they trust you and become an advocate for you. Number 6, empower your team to action. Don't build rules and restrictions around your team. Give them the freedom to serve and delight your customers. And number 7, create an unforgettable experience. If how you do what you do doesn't leave an unforgettable impression, then you probably need to make it better. Imagine what your business would look like if you adopted these 7 fairly simple and straightforward customer engagement standards. How excited would your team be to participate in making changes to your customer experience? How enthusiastic would your customers be to doing repeat business with you? How many more friends would your customers tell about the experience they had doing business with you? And how much more fun would it be to own your own business? I can assure you that whatever you think is possible, it's far better than that. How do I know? Because I know Jesse. He's having the time of his life. He's got a team that's so fired up about being on his team that he's simply a cheerleader. And here's the most amazing statistic. The Savannah Bananas play in a 4,000-seat stadium. BJ, before Jesse, they were lucky if they had 300 to 400 fans for any single game. Today, they have 4,000 season ticket holders. Yes, every seat is bought and paid for. And the last I spoke with Jesse, they had nearly 50,000 fans on their season ticket holder wait list. Amazing. So here's your assignment for this week. Go buy the book, Fans First by Jesse Cole, and begin to rethink your customer engagement standards. Not every strategy that Jesse uses will fit your business, but most of them certainly will. Use what fits, modify what you can, and transform your customer engagement into one that's unmatched by anyone in your industry. And hopefully, I'll run into you at one of the Savannah Banana games as we celebrate with Jesse what it means to be 100% fan-focused. I hope that helps. If you've got specific questions about anything I've shared today, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask. I'd be glad to brainstorm with you and help you design your very own customer engagement standards that inspires your team and delights your fans. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to tune in next week when we're going to discuss team performance standards. You won't want to miss it. Meanwhile, if you have a question, suggestion, or would just like to connect, shoot me an email at rich@tourtoprofit.com. And now, make it a great week, and whatever you do, ride hard.
Thank you for listening to the Ultimate Business Tune-Up. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. In the meantime, find more resources at tourtoprofit.com and connect with Rich by sending a message to rich@tourtoprofit.com. Until next time, ride hard.